Thunderbirds versus New Mexico State University eSports.
Indeed, it is the inaugural game for the FGCU Thunderbirds, our first ever. We are hoping to make a big impact on the college eSports community.
This is true, this is true. Well, I'm one of your hosts, God Complex, and we have with us...
I am Arson, your second host of the evening. Our stream running a few minutes late because of technical difficulties. Please forgive us.
But nonetheless, we are just about ready to go. We're going to give you the rundown on what's going to happen. So we've got FGCU Thunderbirds rolling in and versus New Mexico State eSports, if you didn't already know. On that New Mexico State roster, we got some names rolling in. We got Keeger and Shock on tank. He's the only one in Pikasaur on support. Warby Man and Spirit Wizard on DPS. Now, I'm interested to see what they bring to the table against our home roster, FGCU Thunderbirds. What do we got for us on our team?
So, we have Diesel Bear.
The game itself is going to run best of 5, so that means 5 maps. Hopefully we can get to map 5 tonight. Let's see that action. But the first map we're going to run is going to be on Ilios. And on Ilios, it is a control-based map. Think King of the Hill. There are 3 rounds for this map. And if you at best 2 out of 3 on the rounds.
Yep.
The next map is 2CP, also known as 2 control points. This is a Temple of Anubis.
Temple of Anubis, our favorite Egyptian map, in which your team must stay in an objective long enough to capture it, and then do the exact same thing again. 2 objectives to capture, 2 control points. The next map would be a hybrid map.
Yeah, this is going to be on King's Row, which is one of the opinionated to be the most balanced map in Overwatch. The escort itself. The whole point of it is you capture in a point and then you escort a payload to the end of the map. Next we run escort on Rialto, and that essentially speaks for itself. Escort the payload to the end of the map. Then the tiebreaker map will be Lijiang Tower. This is another 3-round control map. I'm really interested to see what's gonna.
2 nighttime maps, 3 daytime maps. What does that mean for the balance of Overwatch?
It's going to be interesting to see what they have for us, because there was a huge patch that just came into play. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, originally the meta was goats, if you don't recall, but that was pre-roll lock. Now it's on 2-2-2, so you can only run 2 tank, 2 support, 2 DPS.
True, it's led to a lot of interesting innovation within the Overwatch community and a whole lot of new metas, especially with Overwatch's newest character, Sigma. A lot has changed thanks to his experimental barrier and his gravitic flux.
Yes, this has a lot of difference in play styles. It's alluded to something called the shield comp, which is running double barriers, which is usually an Orisa or a Sigma. Sometimes even with Symmetra, adding in a triple barrier, which is very dull to watch, in my opinion.
Overwatch has slowly changed from a very offensive game to a more defensive strategic game with the removal of goats.
Yes, it's also a great balance change, and with Baptiste's Immortality Field, it makes it playing it in fights longer, much longer.
I would say that now more than ever, support characters are the most important aspect of Overwatch. They were always that way before, but now, if you don't have your supports with you, man, I don't know what to tell you anymore.
Oh, absolutely. Especially now that it's roll lock 2-2-2, you can only run 2 supports at a time, so you have to make sure you have the right comp to work with things. So, let's see how that all plays out. I'm excited to see what we have for us. It'll be interesting to see what we got.
Alright.
I don't know about you, Arson, but I'm ready. I'm ready to see this.
I am also very ready. I'm excited to see some aggressive tank plays from FGC's very own K, known to be a very offensive tank, which is what I like to see personally in a game. A lot of action, maybe a lot of controversial plays. Who knows? Here we are at Ilios. Flying around.
It looks like we are waiting for players. This is just a joke around. This is probably not actually what they're going to be playing. Ever since the Glaze patch, there's been a little bit of a problem with being able to see who you're picking before the game actually starts. So they're trying to give us a little snippet to trick us.
So, game starts in 15 seconds.
15 seconds.
Way to zoom in on that wall there, buddy.
Hey, listen, I like them walls. The first map we have, this is Ruins. Ruins, the control point is in the center of the map.
Yeah, the control point is more of a pit here. So in order to stay in the control point, you have to be in the center. Here comes FGCU running Orisa, Sigma, Farah, Ashe, Mercy, and Moira, with our friends at New Mexico State running Winston, D.Va, Reaper, Doomfist, Ana, and Lucio.
So it seems that New Mexico's running more of a pseudo dive comp, running with the double tanks that are primarily used in diving. The Winston and D.Va dive in together with the Lucio following behind. Doomfist adding in some damage. But looks like we're going to be running a pharmacy along with double barrier.
Here's a view on K, our very offensive tank. Excited to see what they can do.
Lucio jumping in and already trying to get in some poke damage.
We've got
Accretion used but not able to hit anyone. No stuns available. Monkey jumps in.
Keeper's coming in for the dive.
They're diving in on K.
Okay.
Looks like they're focusing the tanks up front instead of anyone on the back line. D.Va gets shot off with a rock on the side.
Reaper taken out by Farah, but then a boot takes out the Moira for...
It looks like we already almost have Barrage on FGCU Thunderbirds side built that could be used for the next push, but it does seem that New Mexico will take the point.
That's true, but if you look at New Mexico State, Pikasaur and The Only One are both almost there on their ultimates, providing a double support ult very early on in the game.
It'll be interesting to see how they use this Barrage. Rick is getting even more poke damage. They're running that pharmacy, but they don't have anything on New Mexico's side to contest it. Rick gets the Ana.
Rick
focuses out that Doomfist, and I believe here we might get something big. I'm just teasing us.
New Mexico State pushing in far, not staying on the control point, instead going for FGCU's spawn.
Thunderbirds does take in and wins that fight, leaving Doomfist behind to fall back to his team.
Perhaps a lesson in pushing out a bit too far.
Absolutely. Valkyrie was used in that fight by Audrey.
Now we have Thunderbirds with K's Gravitic Flux and Rick's Barrage. A really good combination if they can utilize that. But looking at New Mexico State, we've got Primal Rage.
Sigma ult is used with the defensive sound barrier. Saves the team. The Barrage is pulled out.
Oh, and the Barrage
was canceled out.
Yeah, Rick got sent to sleep by Pikasaur on the other team.
Gets that res off on the bung. But it looks like it's an even battle right now for the most part.
Yeah, both fighting.
And with Meteor Strike put out.
New Mexico pushing in.
It looks like New Mexico's going to win this
Rick
fight.
staying center, but Thunderbirds lost K.
Pikasaur are going up, or coming back from spawn. Nano is ready, so they have that on the. They can use it more of a defensive, or they can use it on the attack. Presumably, I assume would be given to a DPS, probably Reaper to run a Beyblade, or maybe even Doomfist to push in and stir up some.
It's true. Right now, Pikasaur just taking some long distance shot, throwing that grenade in there.
Self-destruct gets no one. Sleep misses. New Mexico pushing in deep, going in with the Coalescence on Thunderbird's side. Supercharger is deployed.
Once again, fighting away from the point, New Mexico State starts to move back towards it.
They start to retreat because they're losing the numbers, and it looks like Thunderbirds may be able to take this back. Reaper may be ulting here soon when he comes back to help his teammates out. Again, they still haven't used that nano.
Indeed, New Mexico State sitting on 3 ultimates while FGCU is still trying to get theirs, but they're almost there. Running into overtime right now as Thunderbirds take the point, narrowly avoiding a defeat in this first round.
A little spray from Doomfist there. It looks like they're going to take on the left and stick together and go in on a push, but Rick is causing some trouble with getting some poke damage out. It looks like the ultimates are pretty even on both sides. Both DPS on both sides have ultimates and are ready to use them. Nano was just used by Picasart.
Nano using Reaper.
Nice pick
from RB Man.
Yeah.
Thunderbirds Moira.
But Rick pulls out 2 on the barrage.
Takes out his DPS and support. Audrey gets the revive on Moira, bringing both support back to
used to get out of the
Thunderbirds.
halt.
Rick taking out Shulk.
Ooh, Mr. Moo's ult canceled by Doomfist punch. Now it is, they gotta use up ults when they can to hold on to that point. Both teams are at 99%. Whoever wins this fight wins this round.
The Dieselbear utilizing the bongos are over now. Taken out by Spirit Wizard.
And it looks like Thunderbirds is going to take round 1 on Ilios.
Here's K with his very offensive tank plays.
Well, the thing is, when it's at 99% on both sides, you don't want to give them any advantage to run overtime.
That's true.
So you gotta do what you gotta do and push them away.
So Thunderbirds will take that round 1-0 so far on Ilios, but of course, 2 out of 3.
So now on Well, it'll see what they play. It looks like we're going to have from the Thunderbird side the I call this the Boop initiative.
Yeah, indeed. Thunderbirds utilizing Diesel Bear with the Orisa to get the halt into the middle of the well. K running that Roadhog to potentially get those hooks into the well.
And Rick with his Boop is going to push them also into the well. It looks like we're going to have a bit of a mirror comp to an extent on New Mexico's side.
Yeah, New Mexico's running Keeker with Orisa to get those halts as well as the only one on that Lucio. A big part of this map is on that well in the center and just trying to get your opponents into that well before they can get you pushed into it. There's a
and with a good hook, they get the first pick off from Thunderbirds.
Right,
it looks like they're going to retreat a little bit.
New Mexico down 1 support. Audrey getting the revive on Mr. Moo, but ultimately sacrificing
great
themselves.
hooks coming from K. But we
Keeker
do get
on the other team gets the halt on Mr. Moo, putting them
Absolutely.
in. Rick
getting booping
Keeker
the Orisa.
into it. I'm telling you,
Absolutely.
this well defines the match. He who goes into the well gets sent to hell. That's what I say just right now.
Wow, Rig gets a shot off.
Rick
on
with the long-range
Pikasaur.
rocket on Picasor. New Mexico's supports are struggling a little bit this game. It seems that they need some more defending from their tanks and DPS.
You know, if they keep taking out those who are focusing on Rick can do a lot of damage towards the team and get a lot of poke out. One thing Rick is known for is his Pharah play.
Yeah, and it's really good. Look at him utilizing this windmill to get some protection from the other team right now. That's a really good strategy.
Looks like Rick's going to go around for a barrage. Getting focused out by McCree.
See what he does.
Yep. McCree cancels out his ideas
McCree.
with Orisa in the back line.
Indeed.
K's coming back from spawn. It looks like things seem pretty balanced when it comes to ultimates.
Cut to Keeker on the other team, ready with the bongos, hoping to provide some defense for the team. New Mexico State finally getting that control point after a long battle for them. Pushing in a bit, trying to keep them here at this choke point so they can't get through. You see Spirit Wizard coming around. You see the only one over there. Everyone's just checking all their sides to make sure that nobody can get through the point. But here comes the Thunderbirds.
Both teams have bongos. Let's see how they utilize it. It looks like they're going to focus out the pharmacy on the left side. Bongos is used by New Mexico.
Keeper throwing down the bongos.
They're going to go in for a halt. Does not get anyone. New Mexico still holding on point.
Meanwhile,
Shalk is waiting for a juicy hook, it seems like. A lot of times with Orisa Roadhog comps, you do see a halt hook combo. That's when the Orisa throws out a halt, and then the Roadhog follows up with a hook. This essentially establishes that you can get an enemy on the hook, and then everyone else can follow in just like that.
Here's Diesel
Ults
Bear.
are going to be used. Fortify used on Envy. Rick pulling in, ults being used left and right.
Oh my goodness, Rick getting a double, but Spirit Wizard also reciprocating, getting a single on the Moira.
It looks like it.
Diesel Bear, the only one left, and he will be eliminated, leaving the point to New Mexico State.
This all becomes a number games in the end, guys. That's what it is, and they had one on point and
Holding the defense. Thunderbirds can hope to get one last push in, but it's going to be a tough one for them.
yeah, with well, they do have 3 ultimates, Artisan. Valkyrie is used. Reaper's gonna go in with an
Going
ult.
to Warbyman, who has his ult on New Mexico State University.
Mr.
See
Mood.
what he can do with it to
This
try
is
and...
it. Looks like they're on the advantage, and there's the Deadeye.
Oh,
Gets a triple.
Warbyman's going to get a triple on both support and a DPS. I think this round is over. Indeed, it is. Warbyman going for that follow-up into the well.
Interesting things. This is a close game. This first map.
So we're at a 1-1, which is a tied game for our first match. I would say a fantastic game to watch so far.
Absolutely.
Here we are at the Lighthouse, which is also an extraordinarily cautious map to play on, because on all 3 sides of you on that Lighthouse, there is just a fall to death. So...
Yeah, you can use boot characters in this map, and if you can make use of it. But it looks like on the Thunderbird side, we're going to be running a Rein Zarya combo. This is an old school combo that's worked for a long time.
And notice Rick switching off of that Pharah, because Pharah is not the most effective character when your control point is in a concealed space. So...
It looks like New Mexico's going to take the high ground.
Here comes New Mexico going high. Well, Thunderbirds go the tried and true method of going in.
Straight to point.
And ultimately, they'll go straight to point, but there's still 7 seconds until they can take that control point, so who knows what might happen in that time.
Oh, it looks like Diesel Bear's taking a lot of damage and is stunned out and died.
A lot of trade backs here.
Spirit Wizard fell down to the ground.
Audrey is quickly losing health as
They retreat and cannot retreat fast enough.
Audrey's good enough, which goes to show you that rushing to point may not always be the best idea, as the Thunderbirds have shown us. Ultimately, New Mexico State was able to plan their attack a little bit better and utilize knowing what each enemy character would do. So here comes Thunderbirds. They're trapped in the cafe trying to get through, as New Mexico State holds their defense here at the front line.
We do see that Diesel Bear does have his ultimate ready. Mr. Moo gets a pick out on the other McCree.
Here's Diesel
The
Bear.
hammer down used. It gets everyone
He's
huge plays.
Swinging that Diesel K combo, ultimately going for the trade-off, what I might consider a little bit of a cocky move from Diesel Bear, something that he's known for.
Big brain plays on his part.
It will get the Thunderbirds the point, and it's just a matter of time of how long they can keep it before the enemy comes to claim it as theirs.
I do believe the only one knows that K has Grav and is getting ready to use that on the defensive.
New Mexico State taking the high ground again. Rick putting the ice wall there to try and prevent them for a couple seconds. Falling back a little bit for the Thunderbirds.
Well, that huge. There's
is in. Woo!
and then there's the defensive.
There's the grab. They're caught, but unfortunately, Keeper's shield prevented a great amount of damage from being done to New Mexico State.
But there is another shatter,
Incredible shatter.
and there was enough to clean up just on that shatter.
A triple, taking out both Warbyman and Picasort, meaning that New Mexico State cannot utilize their ultimates in this battle. That will give the Thunderbirds another 15 to 20% of that control map.
It looks like we have a switch from Shulk, who was on Roadhog, now switched over to Sigma. However, they, I do believe, just had ult. Rick is now has Mail Blizzard, which will be great to use to keep the New Mexico off the point.
Let's take a look at Pikasaur on the other team with this Ana. Hopefully going to go for the Nano Boost soon so we can see some. Just a matter of who. Warby Man getting a double as Doomfist on Mr.
Gets a
Moo and
sleep
Diesel
on
there.
Tay.
And there's our Nano Boost on Arisa for that rapid fire, and ultimately Spirit Wizard's
Ultimate was able
Death
to clean up,
Blossom
yeah.
is going to clean up.
I'm just waiting for that nade to hit something. Looks like it didn't.
Oh. Thunderbirds managing to make it to 80% before losing it to New Mexico State.
I mean, they can still take it back. Reaper's up top from New Mexico. Looks like we're going to have Doomfist ult's going to be built soon on New Mexico's side.
It'll be interesting to see what Mr. Moo plans to do with their McCree ultimate coming up.
He gets a double. That's a great pick. They can push in finally.
A DPS and a support. That's great. Rick with the other support. Mr. Moo cleaning up with 2 DPS. Diesel Bear taking out Shulk. And Mr. Moo once again taking out the Arisa. That is a team kill. It's going to have to be a very rushed offensive from New Mexico State right now if they hope to get this. I don't see how organized it's going to be, especially...
Well, they're going to have to push soon.
Rick's out there just causing mayhem to them,
Preventing
trying to
them on
prevent
point.
that Hammond from getting on, but unfortunately, somebody was
Single
able to
ult
get
is
in.
used.
Who's on point right now?
Nano used on Diesel Bear.
Nobody.
Sigma's
Sigma
still on
on the
point.
other team. Shulk barely trying to keep it alive for their team, but ultimately, it will not be enough. And so round 1 of the FGCU New Mexico State game will go to the Thunderbirds.
That is something else.
An incredible match on both sides. They
I'd
were
say so.
extraordinarily strong players. Here we see Spirit Wizard with their play on Reaper. Their Death Blossom ultimately getting that triple kill, followed by 2 shots to take out the team. An incredible play.
Well, let's take a look at that map there. So, New Mexico can still take it from us. However, as they're our team, I don't know if we want that to happen, but things are really close on this game. Next up, 2CP is going to be Temple of Anubis.
Temple of Anubis is one of my favorite maps. I will say it. I know it's a bit of a controversial map, but I really enjoy that first point, that bridge, that raised platform that the defensive team gets to be on. I think it's a great map, and I think there's a lot of room for versatility of characters on that map.
Absolutely. Another thing is, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that follow button. And if you feel so inclined, you have a Twitch Prime sub.
If you have Amazon Prime.
If you have Amazon Prime, which gives you a free subscription to use monthly. And I'm not telling you what to do, but
give us your money. We want it.
We would like any form of donations appreciated.
I already see people subscribing with Twitch Prime.
Awesome.
Extraordinarily appreciated.
You know, it'll be interesting on this map because we did see some double barrier play get used. It'll be interesting to see what they so choose. I'm excited to see what we get.
Indeed. I'm hoping to see some more unconventional tanks used. I love seeing a Wrecking Ball. I love seeing, a Roadhog who's not that much unconventional. Haven't seen a whole lot of Diva this match. Only in the first round. Only on Ruins. So, in terms of DPS, I'd really look forward to seeing some of those more defensive DPS. Maybe a Symmetra at some point. For supports, I'd love to see maybe a Brigitte, maybe a Zenyatta at some point. Maybe not the most meta characters right now, but I really love to see those characters that aren't used as often because of the entertainment value that they can provide to these games.
Absolutely. Waiting right now on them to set up the next game. It is very extenuating for these players. They have to, be focused on a lot of things.
And keep in mind, this is FGCU's first ever live esports match for Overwatch, so we both players and casters are figuring things out as we go along.
Absolutely.
There was a lot of good synergy between Diesel Bear and Kay.
Yes, honestly, I think my favorite thing would have to be once they cleared house, Diesel Bear went in for that charge and said, "You know
that
what?
Charge on
This
Orisa
Orisa's mine."
Yeah, just to get rid of that Orisa, very cocky play. But Spirit Wizard on New Mexico State has proven to be a fantastic DPS.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the only one as well, really showing what New Mexico State can bring to Overwatch.
I'm just, right now, if it wasn't for the competitive scene, or this game in itself, Junkenstein's pretty fun. I don't know about you. A lot of people say it's not the best, but, you know,
I love a player versus event game, and I think Junkenstein is a great one. You know, maybe it's not as nuanced as the Archives event is, but I think it's a great one right now.
Oh, but hey, how about those skins? That new Demon Orisa skin, I don't know about you, but that looks pretty
I'm in love
cool.
with that skin. I'm in love with Warlock Ash, and who could forget Zenyatta's standing emote. You either love it or you hate it. It's a very divisive emote, but I'm a big fan of it. I like watching him shake his little feetsies out.
Feetsies. Absolutely. Don't forget, guys, this is best of 5. So we will hopefully, I really want to get to map 5, even though it'll take a while, and it'll be interesting to see how things play out. But
I'd love our team Thunderbirds to win, but I'd also like to watch 4 more maps get played, because both teams are just so great that it's exciting to see what they can do.
I feel like they're around the same skill level, regardless of individual player skill. Overall averages seem to be pretty on par. One thing I did appreciate seeing was some Doomfist play. We didn't see any from the FGCU Thunderbirds, but seeing it on the New Mexico side was very interesting. That
was a great Doomfist
play. We did see the May McCree on Thunderbirds that last map.
That's true, yeah.
Which is really good because, slows them down.
Yeah, fun fact, it is very easy to hit a target as McCree if they are frozen.
It looks like we're going to go straight into Temple of Anubis.
Here we go.
Remember 2CP, the attackers attack the first point. Defenders obviously take control and try to defend it. Second point, through the corridor, all the way through here. 2CP has a lot of struggles as it can be very back and forth and take quite a bit of time. But there are tick markers for each control point. 3 tick markers for each control point that you want to get to complete the full control point.
Can't help but notice that both teams have new players coming in this round. Substitutes.
Yes. Substitutes from Rick. We now have Fury on the Reaper. Looks like Rick's Pharah was not needed for this map.
Yeah, and it's looking like Drogon and Princess
Eva.
Princess Eva. Sorry, I am very illiterate, so. But it's exciting to see substitutes because I like to see what new players can bring to the table for classic characters.
We do see FGCU Thunderbirds running that double shields. It looks like they're going to hold up on the balcony right here. There's multiple ways on the attacker side to get in here and not straight to point, so it'll be interesting to how they push in. On the attack side, we do have that Ryan Zarya with that Doomfist.
Indeed, the Bung giving it an emote right now. A bit of a risky play since the game has already started. You'll notice that New Mexico State Spirit Wizard is running that Junkrat, and Warbyman is running that Doomfist. 2 DPS characters that are great for getting past tanks. So FGC is going to have to be careful about that.
It looks like New Mexico is going to go up and around a point. This is gives them protection from the walls and keeps forces down FGCU Thunderbirds.
It's a prime spot for Junkrat, but now they're coming down and they're starting to hit.
Bob already thrown out the point. Bob is cleaning up some, but doesn't get any final picks. However, Fury and the Bong do clean up some. It looks like it's a pretty even match right now, and FGCU Thunderbirds is able to hold on to that point. And that accretion rock.
That rock to take out Zarya, and they're able to hold it and defend.
I wonder if New Mexico's going to try for the same thing now that they're slowly building ults.
Yeah, we already have one from Princess Eva on that Moira.
Coalescence could be used on the attack and also on the defensive. Remember, it does a lot of
K
healing.
with the accretion to take out Princess Eva, denying that ult. Spirit Wizard's out. Now the Bung and Mr. Moo cleaning up with K, that triple threat of Moira and Ashe and Sigma together. Wow, unstoppable.
And that was a team kill. They're still able to hold that defense, but remember, New Mexico can still build up ults and still push in.
New Mexico should really, I mean, those rock throws by K are crazy right now.
Looks like we're going to get ults coming out.
Oh
Huge
my god,
4K
Spirit Wizard
coming from
with
Spirit.
the 4K and the
I do
tire.
believe that is what we call
Fury trading with 2 on Death Blossom, but will it be enough? Spirit taking out another one with the concussion mine. Oh, this has been an insane match so far.
Yeah, that was a huge play on Spirit Wizard's part. That 4K with a junk tire.
FGCU ultimately losing that point, and here come New Mexico State with both support ults, which could be huge right now.
But don't forget that FGCU Thunderbirds does have their own ults ready to use. They may not be support ults, but Audrey should be able to get Sound Barrier here soon to go against the enemy's grab.
New Mexico heading far left and going through the temple, hoping to come out that side. Let's see what K's rock throws. Oh, here comes K with
Gravitic
Flux.
Gravitic Flux, ooh, was able to clean
Taking
up.
out Drogon. The shield tank is down. Fury taking out Spirit Wizard.
FGCU Thunderbirds is up. That Hulk denies them from running away completely.
There's only so much that Zarya can do with her barriers for New Mexico State, and that's going to be a fallback for New
K
Mexico
getting
State.
a hit on that Zarya. There's the accretion rock. Right on to Doomfist. Warby Man could not run out fast enough.
Those were, I mean, yeah, with the way K is playing Sigma, you might as well make him a sniper character, because those rocks have pinpoint accuracy.
Absolutely. I wonder how many he's actually missed. I don't think any.
I don't think I've seen him miss it. There's another rock right there.
Well, that one missed. That hit a shield.
That's true. You jinxed it.
I did.
Look at Drogon here with the Earth Shatter coming around left side. Team
Looks
right
like he's
behind
ready.
him.
Rock wasted.
Happened.
They can't stun.
Okay.
Huge shatter, taking out the supports. Bob thrown out on
Of
point.
course, there's a charge.
Focusing out Fury. Fury
able to
without
take
rage
that
to
shell.
escape.
Oh my goodness, but Mr. Moo and the Bung utilizing the Coalescence Bob combo.
Able to keep FGCU Thunderbirds alive on point for
New
a little
Mexico
bit of time.
State thought, and unfortunately all they could do was think. There was no follow through on that. Mr. Bung keeping them, or the Bung keeping them in line.
Looks like K is getting ready to build up that Graphitic Flux. Zarya coming in. Zarya has, Shulk has Graph and is ready to use it, I do believe. I think they're going to use it on this next fight. It'll be interesting how they execute it.
Notice New Mexico State very committed to that left flank. They seem to not want to take any other path but that one.
Audrey is above, ready to use Sound Barrier on the defense.
Spirit Wizard using ult.
Grab is used and picks up 2, but doesn't sink. Diesel gets taken out. It's not enough.
Fortunately, K's Sigma seems to be a strong counter to New Mexico State right now, and they are not able to do much while K's utilizing Gravitic Flux and that Accretion Rock Throw.
They still have 1:35 on the clock to take over point B. Still enough time to build up. It looks like they're going to switch over to Dive on the tank.
Drogon switching to Winston and Shulk switching to Diva. An interesting choice of characters. It'll be interesting to see if they can achieve their ultimates before the round ultimately ends.
I assume they're going to try to dive out.
And now for the first
Audrey.
time, New Mexico State going for the right flank. Finally giving them the old switcheroo. Look at Princess Eva ready with Coalescence.
Sound Barrier used on the defensive. to avoid the Bob.
Saving it, Thunderbirds using Bob and getting pushed off. Bob is in a useless position now. Princess Eva just desperately trying to give her team the heals that she needs.
Not using Coalescence, and I think that was on purpose for this next push. I do believe Coalescence will be used. I feel like they were just trying to build ults on that.
Kay getting that accretion kill on Spirit Wizard again. I mean, these rocks.
Focus out that Diva who's alone. That's so upsetting.
Diva was just trying to hide in the corner.
It's a great stagger.
Mr. Moo taking out Doomfist.
Sound barrier still ready for the defensive ult.
A defensive sound barrier the team needs right now. Kind of hiding behind, not showing off the assets. But
Winston dove in and got rocked. Gravitic Flux goes in. Fury and the Gravitic Flux combo.
Bond goes down. Kay's getting that double with the Gravitic Flux combined with Fury's Death Block. Diesel Bear getting a kill. Fury once again taking out Spirit Wizard. Kay getting another kill on Doomfist. It really seems that this round Kay was the DPS and Mr. Moo and Fury were there to watch.
Sigma does do a lot of damage. I mean, if New Mexico can hold a really good defense, this is still winnable from New Mexico's side.
Mexico State getting 1 point, but ultimately not being able to get that second control point. However, I have seen some insane things happen on Anubis before. I really am not being hyperbolic when I say that anything is possible on a map like this.
Absolutely. They could full hold and take this entire map. Anything is possible.
Just got a text from my mother saying that she's enjoying the stream. Send the stream to your mother. Maybe she'll enjoy it too.
It looks like we've got Kay and Diesel running that double barrier again. Same comp as last game.
Identical kind of, actually.
But they're on the attack this time. The defense run Drogon on Orisa and Shulk on that Roadhog. The Spirit Wizard's still running that Junkrat. Maybe he can get even more 4Ks with the attire. That was interesting. We have Warby Man is on McCree. They might be in fear of a possible Pharah, but Rick is not playing this round. And we have a pause.
Well, that's very interesting.
Very interesting. Oh, it looks like they have a DC on New Mexico's side. If we just stand by for a second, we'll come back with it. I'm sure it will be quick. They're at least going to get a sub in. That's what I assume, at least.
Apologize for the pause and delay.
This is what we call an NA stream.
Yeah. Currently trying to get it figured out. Got a lot of rips in chat right now.
Yep. Ripple pipples, as they would say. As you can hear in the background.
Oh, New Mexico State gets their player back, right? No?
No, it looks like they're gonna be playing a 6v5. This will be interesting.
Interesting choice by New Mexico. Oh, no, their 6 has just come back. Warby Man is back in action. There we go. So, starting the round, I'll show you who I'd really love to see I'd love to see some things from Spirit Wizard's perspective, because that wizard knows the magic spells to get those great ults.
Absolutely.
A great concussion mine throw. Thunderbirds seem to be clumped together right now, which is perfect for a character like Spirit Wizard, who just wants to get everybody in a row and take them down like a bunch of bowling pins. Shulk ultimately going to take out Diesel Bear, but the Bung is going to return by taking out Warby Man, and once again...
Whoa! The Bung with that orb. Everyone despises the orb because it hits you when you don't even notice it. Remember what we said about that full hold? New Mexico can still take this. They take this map.
Yeah, great defensive plays by New Mexico there. Thunderbirds coming around the side, going straight through the center of the gate. They want to be seen, they want to be heard. They're getting halted by Orisa, but it's not stopping them. The Bung using Coalescence trying to take out that tire, but they couldn't do it, and Spirit Wizard gets the double, taking out both Diesel and the Bung. Shulk's hook is going to take out K, and Fury's going to manage to get one kill in on Shulk, but will it be enough? No, because Spirit will be taking out Fury, and finally Princess Eva getting that hit on Audrey.
Audrey couldn't run fast enough.
Yeah, Thunderbirds are going to have to do a reset, a rock throw from across the country, but it will hit nobody. Meanwhile, Mr. Moo ready to utilize Bob and see what he can do with it. On the other team, Princess Eva has Coalescence, and it'll be interesting to see how that's utilized.
Sigma's Gravitic Flux is thrown in. Slams down a few of them. They don't have a barrier to
Good
use.
job. Bob's getting thrown in, but Bob is ultimately eliminated very quickly. Shulk utilizing Whole Hog to take out that 7th player.
Ults used left and right. Fury coming in, cleaning up 2, getting
Fury
stunned out.
getting 2, but immediately getting finished off by Shulk.
There's that accretion throw. This is still winnable on FGCU's side if they can pull it off.
Indeed.
With a halt up top, they're all on fire.
Broken Shield about to go
There's
down.
the other
Accretion
accretion.
Rocks getting throwed.
Spirit Wizard coming from behind, clearing out Mr. Moon.
Oh yeah, Spirit Wizard here to take names and not apologize. Ultimately, the Bung will get a kill, but Thunderbirds will lose 4 players. It's going to look like a full reset for the
Bung
Thunderbirds.
committing that Coalescence, getting stunned
Drogan and
out.
Warbyman taking out those that are fleeing, showing no mercy. Another long-distance rock throw. Kay's having fun, at the very least. We can say that.
There is no mercy in this game.
Diesel able to put down
halt.
bongos whenever he wants.
They have one push for this, and it could still be a full hold. Remember, Bob is ready at the use, and Audrey does have defensive ult to protect the team.
They're gonna go.
Gravitic Flux used in. Diesel is barely able to. He doesn't stay alive fast enough.
Won't survive, but let's take a look at Spirit Wizard here. Actually, didn't even seem to notice that there was a Junkrat right behind her, and now it's not looking good. Oh, but ultimately,
that Bob cleanup.
that Bob will come in at the last moment. Kay's getting another accretion throw on Princess Eva.
And it looks like FGCU Thunderbirds is able to take point A
Using
on
Fury,
Tangled
Kay,
News.
and Audrey, they will take it. Diesel Bear coming in now to get that 4.
But it looks like they have a minimal amount of time because they had 5 seconds left on taking that
We're
point.
gonna get about 3 minutes, but luckily for them, both
They only need to get 1 tick to get point B.
they have 2 support ults, and it really could come in clutch right now.
They push down
I'm really interested in seeing what the only one plans on doing
with this sound barrier.
Yeah, and breaking it down. Breaking it down at just the right opportunity could make or break it.
Absolutely. It looks like they're forcing FGCU Thunderbirds to push back.
Yeah, Thunderbirds wanting to make a left flank, but ultimately it wasn't working for them. They lost K, so they're falling back right now, falling way back as New Mexico State pushes them all the way to the entrance, around the corner, and down to the falafel stand.
They still have plenty of time to push in. With 2 minutes 10 seconds on the clock, they have enough time to build out ults, which they almost have all of the ults, save for Gravitic Flux and Bob.
Looks like ult City on both sides, as Diesel, Fury, Audrey, and the Bung have ults with K getting
And
some.
Spirit Wizard making the huge 3K, keeping Thunderbirds from even getting a single push in. to
Thunderbirds are going to have to figure out what to do about Spirit Wizard's rip tires, because they are coming in hot and they are not stopping.
Spirit Wizard seems to be the MVP of this round. I'd have to say so.
I would agree with you.
It'll be interesting to see how Warby Man uses this McCree ult. Doesn't notice Ash and gets ticked off a little.
But Thunderbirds still maintaining 4 ultimates, as New Mexico State maintains 3, and I would say that Thunderbirds have the better spread of tank support and DPS ultimates.
It looks like Thunderbirds are going to start to push in, breaking down Orisa's barrier.
Down that flank. Yeah,
And
K's getting
both teams using bongos. Fury coming in with
that
the 3K.
Death Blossom with the 3K taking out bongos. Mr. Moo finishing off Warbeeman and the Bung.
And it looks like FGCU Thunderbirds takes the map. That was a really close game.
Yeah, and here's our good friend Spirit Wizard
It's probably that
getting play of the game. I mean, who knows which one? There were so many great ones. In my corner, putting it in there.
he knows how to press Q.
Thunderbirds getting taught a lesson in grouping this match. Even though they may have won, Spirit Wizard really took them to the cleaners.
Absolutely. And now we see that it's 2 still. New Mexico can take this.
Oh, absolutely.
It's still anyone's game.
Yeah.
We do have 3 more matches to play. The next one is Hybrid on Kings Row.
Yeah. Kings Row, a fan favorite all around. Plenty of opportunity for good plays, but there's also plenty of opportunity for slip-ups in Kings Row.
Oh, absolutely.
You want to talk about some of your favorite offensive plays on Kings Row?
On Kings Row, offensive. Listen, back in the day before Roll Q, I was in the GGNA tournament and I managed a team and we did 6 supports pushing in.
There you go.
Took everyone at surprise and it was...
Those are the days of the unpredictable nature of Overwatch, where anything went. Consider it the wild, wild west of Overwatch.
Oh yes, absolutely.
A much more uniform, clean-cut businessman Overwatch is what we're watching now.
It's a lot more balanced and appreciated. It also makes the ladder pretty interesting, getting matched up with around the same skill level. If you haven't already, feel free to hit that follow button. That if you have Amazon Prime and you connect it to your Twitch account, you'll get a free Twitch Prime sub. You can use that to support the FGCU Thunderbirds.
Who are you going to use it on? Ninja? Doesn't even stream on Twitch anymore.
What's a mixer? You know, those accretions, I feel like K was... He was something else.
Yeah, K with the accretions and Spirit Wizard with those rip tires. My God.
I feel like that was the balance that game had. If K missed a couple of those accretions, New Mexico would have been able to push in a lot easier.
Yeah, the accuracy on those was crazy. Even the intimidation factors of just chucking those rocks from across the map. Excited to see who comes back and is substituted in round 3 on Kings Row. Widely considered, as God Complex noted before, the essential Overwatch map, the one that separates the boys from the men.
Well, I mean, it's one of the most balanced maps in the entire game. As a hybrid, you know, take the first control point and then move the payload. It's pretty extensive as to what you can do. We have seen plays with through Overwatch League where during GOATs they would go around the entire map just to get to point. We saw recently in the finals, we saw Orisa being used waiting out that barrier because it had such a short cooldown.
Yeah. Though I will say, Kings Row is also one of the maps where you experience the most C9s in games.
Yes. Well, you get greedy with killing the enemy team. That point comes back of your mind.
Yeah.
But
So-
that is the point of the game, is to push that payload. Point matters. I wish my teammates knew that in ladder.
Zenyatta says, a payload in motion stays in motion. Zenyatta, by the way, a character who has still not appeared in either New Mexico or FGCU's team yet.
Well, he's not quite meta.
It's true.
Being that the double barrier takes huge significance.
But he stands up now, so I want to see him.
Oh yeah, with the new emote. We're gonna roll into Kings Row.
Here we go. You know, look at that, right through the hallway. What a cinematic camera experience you guys are getting. Incredible. Kings Row has some great opportunities. You have that left hotel flank. You have that right hotel flank. you have above on those balconies. There's so much room for innovation on King's Row. There's so much you can do, so many sides to take. It's gonna be interesting to see.
I feel like we're gonna see a lot of brawls going on at that statue. Being that Diesel and K, both very aggressive tanks, see if New Mexico can also be just as aggressive. I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to have Diesel and K running the double barrier again. Same concept we've seen before. Fury on the Reaper, Mr. Moo on the Ash.
Here, another substitution from New Mexico State. Keeker on May, a player that we have not seen before. New Mexico has a lot of players in their back pocket.
It looks like the attack being New Mexico is going to be running Keeker on Widowmaker.
Yeah, Keeker kind of switching, but
waiting to get initial picks, I assume.
mm-hmm.
You want to stay hidden up here, because if they know you're there, they'll try to focus you out.
It's over.
I assume K is going to throw out an accretion. They got double barriers, so Keeker cannot get much advantage out of that. They have
Keeker's
to
gonna
switch.
ultimately switch back to May. Coming through the left hotel flank, New Mexico State pushing. Drogon's doing good defensive work with the shields here, keeping the team
The
behind
accretion
him.
from using up some resources by the supports. And it looks like Fury is taken out by Drogon. Huge halt on Diesel's play.
Ooh, that accretion
The
throws
accretion
him out.
misses,
Yeah.
but it looks like New Mexico's enough to come in and do some damage. Pushing FGCU Thunderbirds.
Spirit Wizard
back.
getting a triple. Keeker getting that last KO. Spirit Wizard doing 4.
Spirit Wizard is cleaning house today.
Spirit Wizard is proving to be a DPS to be reckoned with.
Now, New Mexico has taken the control point. They have to get that payload all the way to the end of the map. Looks like we're going to have Princess sitting on payload, keeping it moving, and then all of the action is going to happen up front.
Drogon, who's got that Earth Shatter at the ready. We'll see it soon.
Gravitic Flux used,
Caught in the Gravitic Flux though. And
killing
ultimately,
out Drogon.
K's gonna get a triple kill utilizing that Gravitic Flux.
This gives out space for FGCU Thunderbirds to push in and to get stagger kills. They inevitably have to fall back so they don't get focused out. It looks like Spirit Wizard is up top. He's going to look for some sort of flank,
Spirit
possibly.
Wizard's getting a little sneaky.
Pushing in. He's going around with the flank.
Teleport. That's a great shadow step. Ultimately,
Getting
trying to
stunned
get
out.
K.
K, not even able to use the accretion.
Sun Tzu says, know thine enemy, and Spirit Wizard knows that K is not somebody that he wants to go up against.
Spirit Wizard is still pushing in. They're still moving that payload with Princess on point.
Spirit Wizard pushing them extremely far back to spawn. New Mexico State hasn't even made it to the second checkpoint yet.
But it doesn't look like FGCU Thunderbirds is going to be able to get in there to stop them.
Yeah, FGCU looking a little bit scared to push in and defend it, which means that New Mexico State is going to easily take this second point.
We do see a bit of a mirror matchup with the tanks. Diesel Baron and K switching off to
Oh my god, Spirit Wizard and
Ryan
Drogon
Zarya.
cleaning up.
Thunderbirds is just letting them go through, not even giving some moments to think or anything. New Mexico is just going to keep pushing on, keep forcing them
Seems
back.
that New Mexico has started to learn which characters to focus on the Thunderbirds team and which players need to be eliminated immediately, and they're really utilizing that by taking out what they believe to be the stronger players first.
Huge shatter coming out of
Drogon with the shatter, followed by
a cleanup
the Death
with Spirit.
Blossom by Spirit.
K
What a
retreating
combination.
back to spawn.
That is
not
what-
fast enough.
That is what we were referring to as one of the classic ult combos of Overwatch. I mean, really, it does not get more original than the Death Blossom, Earth Shatter, and ultimately, 4 minutes and 34 seconds left for New Mexico State. I would consider that an impeccable round.
Absolutely. With 4 minutes and 34 seconds remaining, New Mexico does seem to be taking the advantage on this. That is not going to stay there, I assure you. It'll be interesting to see what is played on attack by the Thunderbirds.
Diesel Bear and K, the Orisa Sigma combo worked every other round that they've played except for this one. So will they keep it or will they switch it? That's a very interesting question to find out. As for Spirit Wizard, will they go back to their Junkrat Reaper days? What's going to happen?
It looks like Shock's going to be on that Sigma. They're going to be running the double barrier. Looks like they're going to be running a bunker.
Yeah.
With that Bastion and Baptiste, it's almost impossible to push through.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting. K realizing that Sigma was not the right choice for King's Row, ultimately going to switch to a Zarya. Mr. Moo trying to go for those early game snipes before things get too hairy. The question is, of course, whether Shulk on Sigma or Bastion will allow Mr. Moo to get very far with those snipes. They seem to already kind of know what the situation is going to be like, so it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. Match beginning in 3, 2, 1. Let's see what our Thunderbirds can do.
With that barrier, it's going to be almost impossible to get out those initial kills, but Mr. Moo's going to have to switch off.
Immediately switching. Mr. Moo switching to Hanzo.
That's a really good for shield break, but they, themselves, being New Mexico, already has their own shield break.
Yeah. Very interested in seeing what...
With the accretion, Diesel gets melted by the Bastion.
Here's Keeker, that Bastion, keeping it classy, moving around, never staying in the same place.
But really knows how to hold down Mouse 1.
Yeah, that drifter personality. Shulk with the accretion throw. New Mexico State keeping defensive, keeping behind the lines, really putting the bunker in bunker. That made a lot of sense.
Well, I mean, it's bunker for a reason.
Getting pushed up by the wall.
The accretion stuns out Keeker.
Fury able to take out Keeker, but immediately the resurrection from Princess Eva.
The immortality was already used, so Keeker cannot stay alive. It looks like FGCU Thunderbirds is able to push in.
Rapid fire arrows to take out Keeker. Diesel Bear and the Bung going in for Spirit Wizard. Mr. Moo taking out Drogon. It's not looking great for New Mexico State right now. Oh, there goes their Mercy, and here comes their Sigma, and that's a clean sweep for the Thunderbirds.
It'll still be interesting to see the defensive plays on New Mexico's side, because remember, Thunderbirds, they still have to get that payload all the way down to the end of the map.
Beach ball in the center of the road. What does this
isn't
mean?
summer
What does
games.
this mean for the meta? Somebody could slip and fall on that beach ball. Take a look over at Drogon, and
it looks like they're just going to hold it out.
Schultz.
Spirit Wizard getting that single kill on Mr. Moose, staggers him out, allows the defensive to push in.
Excited to see what Shulk can do here with the Gravitic Flux.
Spirit Wizard taken out, Immortality is not thrown out fast enough.
Yeah.
Stunned out. Gravitic Flux used on the FGCU side. Taking a lot down, however, not enough to kill anyone.
Shulk holding on to Gravitic Flux, but choosing not to use it. Fury going into that.
Blizzard used in Immortality, saving the Orisa. Drogon is still barely alive. Shulk's antied and cannot stay alive.
Be it for Shulk, yeah. K's back on Sigma. Decided Zarya did not work out, and that Sigma change.
As you see, everyone's on payload save for K, who's pushing up. Looks like he's trying to get a little bit more poke damage. Now where Spirit Wizard seems to be getting his own poke damage.
There's that
out.
accretion throw again. I mean, K is a sharpshooter, I swear.
Barrier down on K side, but they were still able to get the point all the way down.
There's that push.
New Mexico still has
Spirit Wizard
Tank ult.
with the Riptire. Excited to see it utilize Spirit Wizard.
Bongo use. Fury is taken out.
Spirit Wizard proving to be a professional with the Riptire. Going up.
Oh,
What's gonna
looks
happen?
like he's about to do something. He's probably waiting for them to push in a little bit so he can get them on the flank. At least that's what I would assume. Keeker able to take out Diesel Bear. That still puts New Mexico up.
He's the only one taking out Diesel Bongos. And more damage boost for you.
Looks like Thunderbirds need to back out and reset.
Oh my god, Spirit Wizard with the concussion mine
Sniping
able
with
to
the
snipe.
concussion.
Yeah, Audrey. Keeker also sniping with the Peacemaker. Picking out Fury. Keeker getting Mr. Moo again.
Remember, Spirit still has that ult. He's been known to get quite a few.
Chasing the Bung right now. Able to take the Bung out. Waiting for Fury. I mean, they're meticulously going player by player and getting all those who couldn't return to base fast enough. But here come our Thunderbirds again, coming around the corner, finally back to pushing payload. Spirit Wizard with the ult, able to get a triple on the Bung, Mr. Moo and Diesel there. They did not look behind them to notice the Riptire heading right their way.
Nano K is still a scary K, but not enough to get out without dying.
K coming back to spawn, regrouping with the team as they try to figure out a new approach to get through. Mr. Moo holding on to that Bob might be a crucial time to utilize it. Trying to get that sharpshooting in. Ultimately, Audrey is going to break it down. And Fury's using the Blizzard. A large combination of ults.
Huge dynamite thrown out, forcing New Mexico back. 2 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock.
Coached by Mr. Moo.
Just enough for Thunderbirds to push in a little bit. Bob is probably going to be used to stall out, to push in even more. Coalescence is available on New Mexico's side, but is it going to be enough?
Is that Bob going to come out?
Huge snipe.
And there comes the Bob.
But Spirit Wizard's still able to take out quite a few of them. K focusing in on that Doomfist, who is able to get out the kill, but to what extent?
But ultimately has to go back. Fury getting ready, waiting for the team to start, and on the other team, it's a formidable opponent. Drogon's there, waiting with ult, ready to put those bongos down. Shulk about to get that gravitic flux. 2 tank ults on the way.
Maywall preventing a lot of poke damage. Bongos deployed on New Mexico's side. With only seeming to be 1, maybe 2 pushes, Thunderbirds is stalled out. New Mexico is pushing in. That wall stalling 3 of them out.
Thunderbirds scared to go around that corner.
That gravitic flux seemed to be a little scuffed on K's side, not only hitting 1 person. But Shulk's gravitic flux is ready, and I believe they're going to use it to their advantage.
Very excited to see what they can do with it.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite
Mr. Moo getting a triple kill.
Mr. Moo.
With
Diesel
45 seconds left.
Only one. New Mexico State losing both their supports.
But is it enough? Stunned out, still contesting payload. K nanoed. Come on, Spirit. Let's see what you got. Spirit may be able to help clean up. They have to stay on this payload before, so anyone else gets it.
Here comes the ult right on point, but ultimately
Bob runs into it and ends it. Never seen that one happen.
That was incredible.
And it looks like 1 minute left on the clock. Round 2 complete. FGCU Thunderbirds was
I have
able.
seen Bob utilized for a lot of things, but I've never seen a Bob used to absolutely just roadkill a tire. Typically it's the tire doing the roadkill, but today it was Bob doing the roadkill on the tire.
Interesting nonetheless.
Unfortunately for the Thunderbirds, they had less than a minute, so it's only going to give them 1 minute, and our friends at New Mexico State will have a whole 5 minutes and 19 seconds. It's not a very even amount of time.
Still anyone's game nonetheless. Once the 1 minute goes out, they are stuck in overtime, and they have to stay on that payload.
Yeah, I remember what I said. This map is host to a bunch of C9 plays in the Overwatch League, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Absolutely.
Quick spray, the Florida Mayhem. the official Florida team of the
The Overwatch
League. Diesel Bear getting pumped, doing their jumps up and down.
There's that dance.
France, yeah.
That's the horse. Mr. Moose switching from that Widow to the Ashe. Can't get a lot out on those barriers. Huge halt.
Oh my god, a massive whole wall.
Walla on both sides. Yeah. Accretion getting no one. The Bung really low on health.
In between two walls.
Another huge halt.
Yeah, big halts by Diesel Bear.
But nothing to follow through with them.
Fury trying to separate the team up with those walls. And
looks like Hayes going to go around on the flank going straight to point.
Keeker's trying to do the same. A trade-off. The Spirit Wizard takes out Fury as May, and Mr. Moo takes out Princess Eva. Unfortunately, Mr. Moo...
Drogan is also taken out by Diesel.
Diesel Bear getting a double and an assist on Mr. Moo. A quadruple by Diesel Bear.
It's just Lucio on point. He's the only one taken out by K with a punch. I don't think they can... They absolutely cannot contest this. That means FGCU Thunderbirds has to stay on that point.
Absolutely.
Push it all the way.
Talk about the nick of time. They're getting that point as the clock strikes at 0. I mean, it is... it's going to be tough for them. No doubt about it.
Remember what we said about C9s. That is a thing. Sigma can also force out a C9, also known as a Sig 9.
Yeah, here's a terrifying thought, too. Spirit Wizard ready with the Riptire.
And it gets no one.
It gets nobody. Spirit Wizard prematurely doing it. We'll call it
Bob's thrown in from all the way in the back line.
In-game jitters. The Bung finishing up that coalescence. Drogan's going to punch Fury to death, and Spirit Wizard is going to use that mine. Drogan, once again, taking out K. It's not looking great for the Thunderbirds right now.
Audrey did throw in that sound barrier to help push in.
Thunderbirds trapped in this choke, and Keeker knows that.
Numbers. Spirit, another Riptire.
A double. That was incredible. Spirit able to get those Riptires in an impressive amount of time. Almost uncalculated. Extraordinarily quick on their part. Quick thinking, quick actions. Drogan as Arisa, really incredible work for New Mexico State.
Now, New Mexico has plenty of time, and they don't have to push it very far. It'll be interesting to see how they do it. They could even run some sort of pirate ship. That's where they have to get. It's as far as they have to go. All they need to do is take the point and push it a little bit.
You know, we said we wanted to see 5 rounds, and that might ultimately be what we see today.
It looks like we're going to be running the defensive comps as Double Barrier, Bastion, Baptiste, you know, that bunker.
Yeah, FGCU is running that bunker. New Mexico State, very, very offensive. You have the Reinhardt Diva combo, especially with that Spirit Wizard on Reaper, who's proved to be an incredible Reaper. Princess Eva, and the only one sticking with their Moira Lucio, which is a fantastic combo that's been working for them this game.
Right now, Keeker can't seem to see anyone. That's because FGCU Thunderbirds is being smart by hiding what they have, not giving any advantage to the attacking side.
Show your assets is not logic that applies to FGCU.
Keeker being forced to switch off.
Yeah, that shield's going to be able to block them.
Oh, K being forced down. Everyone focusing in on K. This might have been a huge mistake.
By the entire team
and
right
taken
now.
out. Is it? They do get the res off, and it's enough to get the res off. But at what extent? Ooh, Zarya is forced out behind. Zarya taken out. Number games do exist, and it looks like Thunderbirds are forced down to point to hold on to point. However, New Mexico is on their...
Diesel Bear taking out Keeker for New Mexico. Mr. Moo managing to take out Drogan. K managing to take out the only one.
You know, if you don't contest that Bastion...
K killing Spirit Wizard with a punch.
Bastion can do a lot if he's uncontested, especially with the high ground.
Great defensive plays by the FGCU
Absolutely.
Thunderbirds. Oops. Saw that child's face really close for a second. We hope that you are as enthralled with this game as that child's face was for a brief second. Coming back to Fury on May, trying to get that Blizzard and utilize it.
Reaper on behind to focus them out a little bit. It looks like, even though they pushed in, they were still cut off from the rest of the team.
Focus on the Bung right now, about to get that ultimate on Baptiste. And hopefully,
Baptiste, his ultimate doubles any damage that goes through it. If it's going to be interesting to see how it's used. It's most likely going to be used on the Bastion with Mr. Moo. Uh-oh, Diesel Bear cut off from the rest of the team.
ultimately taken out. Take a trip to...
Diesel Bear was dead. And it does look like Mr. Moo's ult was completely canceled by killing himself.
Good K using Ravidic Flux, but it really wasn't enough.
It was not enough. It does look like New Mexico is going to be able to push in a little bit.
Sacrificing themselves.
Fury throwing in the Blizzard.
You're putting in that incredible wall placement for New Mexico to give themselves some more time to get themselves together.
Audrey with the Valkyrie did
Bun
get
coming
her.
through, taking out the only one though. Leaving Princess Eva as the only one left to provide healing for the team. Will it be enough?
It may be, it may not be. It's only Sigma Moira on point, and I don't think that it's going to be enough. However, with 2 ticks in, New Mexico still has 2 minutes and 40 seconds to take this.
It's true. Their clean sweep in their first round was able to give them a lot of time to work and roll with the punches.
And it looks like they're going to switch off to a Pharah.
Oh,
We have
Keeker's
yet to see this
Pharah.
from Keeker.
That's incredible. I'm excited to see that.
Mr. Moo is able to contest Keeker on the Pharah, being that he is hit scan. However, Mr. Moo's objective is most likely going to be melting tanks. It looks like the rotation does happen on FGCU Thunderbird side. K is on point. New Mexico, they're on point. They gotta
Plus
stay
using
on
that
point.
Ravidic Flux.
Audrey is taken out. All of the they have left. They don't have any heals. It looks like FGCU Thunderbirds has given up the point out of New
Keepers
Mexico's.
running away. Focus on Princess Eva here.
Well, Princess Eve is most likely going to be sitting on point while the rest of the team pushes up so that they can just get it straight to point.
Take a look at Spirit Wizard.
Focusing out Mr. Moo while he's, uncontested.
That was rough to watch. That was a robot massacre, I might say. Spirit Wizard always wanted to impress with the ults. Excited to see what the Death Blossom can really do.
I'm sure this
here.
is just to clean up just a few.
Yeah, from behind, ultimately not able
to get anyone, but it
but
does
utilizing
clear out
the damage
two.
done to take out a few.
But they still get the point. Wow.
The New Mexico State University eSports team is going to take round 3 for that hybrid map.
Spirit Wizard with the play of the game.
Spirit Wizard, for the second game in a row, getting play of the game. Score now comes to 2-1, our own FGCU Thunderbirds with those 2 points, and New Mexico State University just getting their first. It'll be interesting to see what New Mexico State substitutes in this game, considering that they won it, and it'll be interesting to see what the Thunderbirds decide to sub, considering that they just lost it.
Absolutely. Rialto is another good Pharah map, so I would expect to see Rick being played or
Rick.
subbed in. Also, being that it's very open, if you can get around those shields, Widowmaker could be utilized. I would also expect to see a Doomfist possibly to counter out the Sigma and possibly Moira's. Absolutely. And if you haven't already, hit that follow button. If you have your Amazon Prime account connected to your Twitch, you get a free Twitch Prime account. And
you get a free Twitch Prime sub once a month, which can be used on a channel like FGCU eSports.
It helps support us, helps us get better quality content, helps our players compete more. Good stuff.
Yeah, greatly appreciated. Might even be able to get better casters. Who knows?
It's 2-1 right now. Map 4,
I'm
Rialto.
excited.
This is an escort. They do not have to take a control point to push the payload.
I may be wearing a Thunderbirds jersey right now, but I'm sort of hoping that New Mexico can take this round just so we can see that 5th one on Lijiang, because I love a good game on Lijiang.
Lijiang is one of my favorite maps, even though I have the worst win ratio. It still is one of my favorites.
Is it really? Is
Yes.
your worst win ratio on
It-
Lijiang?
absolutely.
Is it because it's night you can't see? It's too dark for
Yep.
you?
I can't see in the dark.
At Blizzard, please give Overwatch characters flashlights so we can see in the dark. Thank you.
Can we just get those mining helmets for every character?
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
That would be interesting.
Would like to say on New Mexico State's esports team, it's the only one, and Eva, right? Princess Eva?
Princess Eva, yep.
Princess Eva, they had some great consistent healing for their team throughout
Oh,
these
absolutely.
last couple of games. They were really giving it their all, and I appreciate that about New Mexico State. Looks like from what we can tell, there will be some substitutions in this upcoming game. A good couple, actually.
Well, it was almost expected, as Kings Row does have its own, experimental play style. Rialto, on the other hand, does have, what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And on the Thunderbirds side, we do know what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah. Unfortunately, on Rialto, there are no statue faces of children that we can accidentally zoom in on. Oh.
If you do recall, Rialto is the map used for the event Retribution, which features the Talon characters.
Rialto is a beautiful map.
Absolutely.
One of my favorites. I think it's one of the
There's
prettiest in the
water
game.
in this map. So let's go swim our way over to Rialto.
Thanks, I hate it. Here we are. Beautiful Italy. The clouds. They look like the clouds in Toy Story. Sun shining brightly. And we see that Rick is back as God Complex suspected.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I expected his far play is remarkable, and this is such an open sky map that
Princess Eva switched out to bring Pikasaur back in as well.
and it could just be the assembling part of the game, but it does appear to me that Pikasaur and Audrey might be playing Zenyatta, something we have not yet seen.
Don't give me hope.
I gave you hope and I destroyed it.
Yeah, no Zenyatta yet. But Pikasaur and the only one on that Baptiste Mercy combo. That is a hefty amount of heals. Same thing for Audrey and the Bung. Healing is the name of the game on Rialto, and both teams are showing this. Wow, look at that. Well, now you're saying, well, it's like you need a permit to drive the camera. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Oh, but here we are with the Thunderbirds taking the high ground. Waiting, we have K and Diesel, that acclaimed Sigma, Orisa combo. We got Rick
and Audrey are going to be running that pharmacy. On the attack, we do see that they are running a Bastion, which could be used for a pirate ship.
I'm excited to see Shulk as Roadhog and the hooks that they might be able to land in this first section of the map. Very hook heavy with this tiny bridge to cross. And of course Keeker and Diesel Bear with those halts in the water.
Immortality is on that Bastion, preventing him from dying, and Diesel Bear pushed off, but does not get pushed down into the ground, but does get melted out.
Yeah, Spirit Wizard
by
proving that besides being a mean Reaper and Junkrat player, that they can also do a pretty nasty Pharah.
Rick and Audrey having trouble being pushed back. Audrey taken out in the pharmacy. Rick's got to run out of there.
Shulk with the aggressive Roadhog play, but too aggressive, and K's able to ultimately take Shulk out. Here's Rick with the ult.
They gotta force out that immortality before they can use any kind of ults to destroy
Get
it.
rid of it, pushing himself back. Now flying up and over. Point again. Will we see the ult? We
There
will!
it is. There
and
is
it's
the
a
barrage.
massive triple, taking out both supports and one of the tanks.
Preventing the attacking team, New Mexico, from taking first point. We do have K over here, who's pushed up. I assume he's looking for a hook. Falling back with the team now. Spirit Wizard with the barrage. Be interesting to see how that's utilized. However, Mr. Moo is a hitscan character, so could easily be taken out before anything can be done. With bongos used by New Mexico, Rick contesting out Spirit Wizard.
I love to watch Spirit Wizard ult.
He really knows how to press Q.
You gotta
Looks like he's getting ready for it.
Madman capability.
The Bung getting the sleep on Spirit Wizard up top, but no one else able to follow up except for Mr. Moo dynamiting with the anti. And I mean, Spirit Wizard is good with his boops. He's got a lot of CC ability characters that he likes to use.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Warby Man taking out Mr. Moo, and he's very bongo.
Spirit was unable to use Barrage, but Rick, on the other hand, really was able to use Barrage.
Getting that triple.
Again, Rick is known for his Pharah.
And Audrey getting the revive on Mr. Moo in the nick of time.
Spirit Wizard did end up using that ult, but
we are now witnessing
melted.
a Pharah fight. Probably one of the hardest kills to get in Overwatch is two Pharahs duking it out with each other.
Well, that Ana on the FGCU side, the Bung, helped push down the pharmacy. Going on the left side straight to point, Shulk does have ult here soon. It does look like Warman did switch off of the Bastion to go to Doomfist.
Hold back, waiting. Yeah, Doomfist is a great.
With nothing to contest out Spirit Wizard, or without Rick, it's going to be interesting to see how they play with this. Both Roadhogs use ult. K's able to get kill off of it on Keeker.
Yeah. Shulk's Whole Hog ultimately underutilized as Rick and K are able to push him back a little bit.
They have to find a way to contest out Rick, or else they just cannot get those pushes in.
It's true. Keep in mind, Mr. Moo currently the only one with an ultimate right now, and pretty much the only one with a significant damage doing ult.
But no junk tire to stop with Bob.
It's true.
Oh, cleaning up the Doomfist. Bob thrown out.
Bob getting thrown out. Here it is.
With Bongo. Bob's going to clean up house.
Right in the face of Keeker. And
Mr.
right
Moo.
in the face of everybody.
Cleaning up. Not allowing them to get to
great
first point.
Great use of Bob by Mr. Moo right there.
There used to be a glitch on this map that was fixed in a patch, where if you shot these gondola drivers, you would get play of the game.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
I had no idea.
They fixed it, but it was a thing.
That's kind of crazy. I feel like that's one of those things that they code in deliberately, like as a joke with people, and then they just forget to
No,
code
it
out.
might have been. I have no clue. But they did fix it.
Beautiful Rialto is destroyed right now. These balconies
Absolutely.
are
No
wreck.
respect for the architecture.
I know, it's insane.
Looks like we're still going to have Rick on that Pharah. Warby Man is on the McCree. Again, what I did say, they did need something to contest out that Pharah. That's the only way. If they can contest out Rick.
Both teams losing Baptiste in support, though. The Bung staying with Ana, and's the only one. And Pikasaur going for that Lucio-Ana combo.
Pikasaur is playing Ana, who Ana does have the ability for hit scan, which can also assist in countering out
That's what we're doing right now.
the Pharah. It looks like Pikasaur is lining up a anti-nade to try to get initial
This is exciting.
anti out.
See that throw, and then we'll come right to the front and see what that does. Ultimately, it doesn't hit anybody, but
Oh, did not do anything.
it was a good try by Pikasaur.
It looks like FGCU Thunderbirds is pushing in uncontested with a short amount of way to go.
Up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Rick here to do some damage and push New Mexico State back. There he is getting up close and personal with that Sigma.
Mr. Moo taking out Keeker. Rick trying to contest out the McCree. Right now, that is Rick's main weakness, is McCree.
Yeah, I would agree. Oh, there they are.
Takes
all
out's the only one.
lined up, perfect for Rick. They're all in the same spot, prime for shooting.
It looks like Mr. Moo's going to clean up house without Bob.
Unfortunately, when New Mexico State looks up in the sky to try to take out Rick, they're not looking at the ground, which is where Mr. Moo is shooting him down. Rick
Bob's
able to get
thrown
that
in.
ult.
And it looks
Bob's
like
there as a distractor. Wow, eliminated Warby Man, not even looking. That's Rick for you. And
Rick with the
very strange ult, I gotta say.
you know, some would say it could be wasted. However, they pushed Wrecking Ball off point, and it looks like it's going to be Thunderbirds for the win.
Well, folks, we didn't get our 5 games in, but we got 4, and I think that is a great number.
Absolutely. And there's Spirit Wizard.
3 games in a row, play the game on DPS. As much as I love our Thunderbirds, I might have to say that Spirit Wizard's proven to be the MVP of the match overall. I mean, really some incredible ult plays.
Huge plays on his part.
Thunderbirds may have won 3-1, but we don't have Spirit Wizard.
That was a great game from both sides.
I loved it. An incredible, I mean, an opening match. Think about that. The first ever match that FGCU Thunderbirds have played so far. And they played incredibly. I'm so excited to see the other teams that they play throughout the season.
GG's all around.
Yeah.
Some amazing
A
gameplay.
lot of excitement in the chat. Thanks to the 40-something viewers who tuned in to watch FGCU play.
Great games.
A lot of GGs going around in the chat. Everybody seems to have a great time throughout the match, and I think that's what's more important than winning is that both teams had a very fun time while they were playing each other.
Absolutely. And if you're just now joining at the end of it, it's 3-1. Thunderbirds with the win. If you haven't hit that follow, go ahead and hit that follow. And if you have a Twitch Prime sub,
Yeah. Connect your Amazon Prime to Twitch to get Twitch Prime, which gives you 1 free subscription a month, which can be used on channels like the FGCU eSports and only channels like the FGCU eSports. Won't work anywhere else. Just here. Just give it to us.
we're not going to say no.
Yeah. People telling me that their mom said they enjoyed the game. I'm glad. That's what I wanted.
I hope my mom enjoyed the game.
So what did we take out of this? We took out of this that
Rick can only play Pharah.
well, that's a bit harsh.
We didn't see him play anything else.
K Sigma is a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, absolutely. His accretion throws. Oh my gosh.
That was insane. We also learned that the Thunderbirds need to work on their King's Row plays a little bit, though.
Well, I mean, New Mexico, they gave some difficulty, you know.
Yeah, there was a lot of pushback from them, especially New Mexico's first round when they were on the offense on King Row. That was rough to watch
Absolutely.
for a Thunderbirds fan. But ultimately, a great game. Do we know when the next game is?
We do not know when the next game is. However, we'll keep you up to date. If you hit that follow, if you subscribe, you'll know when we're playing. This channel does not only strictly play Overwatch. We do have CSGO in CSL right now. They'll be competing occasionally every so often. League of Legends, we will stream out their scrims. There is also Rocket League on Wednesdays. A lot of great stuff, or a lot of great content to watch on this channel.
There's also, if I'm not mistaken, an official FGCU eSports Twitter account.
There is if you go to FGCU eSports on Twitter, that's our Twitter. There's also the other handles for Instagram, which is FGCU Thunderbirds, I do believe, on Instagram. Our website is fgcuesports.com. A lot of really good content coming soon. Website will be updated with even more information. If you haven't already, go to the Discord. Tell the Overwatch team congrats on their win.
Yeah, it was a great team.
Great
and
win.
also, we don't have the information, but go find New Mexico State and tell them congratulations because they played
absolutely.
a great game too.
New Mexico, thank you for playing with us.
Yeah, I would love to see New Mexico State play more games, and I would love to see FGCU play New Mexico State again, just because I thought that was such an incredible game.
Absolutely, me too. Thank you so much for dropping by.
All right, it's 10:30, so
FGCU Thunderbirds, shock and soar, everyone.
yeah. Have a good night.